What is up, everybody? It is time for Behind Enemy Lines. I got my guy Jake, who covers the Rams. We're live on his channel, Jake Ellenbogen. We're also live over here on Last Second Sports, so we're going to have a mixture of Rams fans, 49er fans. It's going to be an absolute blast. But before we get started, Jake, I have to ask you, how you doing, my man?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you. I absolutely love Rams Niner week because I just can't stress enough how much respect I have for 49ers YouTube creators, and mainly you and Rob and Grant and Johnny does a really good job. So I try to collab with all you guys, and it's funny because people on my channel will be like, why are you doing 4 previews of the 49er game? Like, what the hell? I think they've gotten to know like my whole thing now, but no, it's awesome. And I obviously, we get to do our thing every Tuesday. So it's great. Anytime we have a chance to collab, it's a good time, Jesse. It really is.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. Well, listen, let's just waste no time. Let's get right into it. First things first. I got to know, what does the injury report look like for the Rams? Because on the 49ers side of the house, it's exactly the same that it was the last time that they played, which is like Ricky Pearsall may or may not play, but he's not practicing. Now we've got Brock, who's practicing for the 3rd week in a row, but in a limited basis. I have no idea what's going on there. And then, outside of that, it's your usual suspects. We know Brendan Ayuk's not going to be activated, obviously. We've had some injuries that we've tallied on. I will say, though, good news. Huff is back at practice on a limited basis. Brendel's back at practice. So, we'll see. I don't know if Brendel's good news. But either way, we got some horses coming back in this game. What about you guys? What does your injury report look like?
Well, I'm looking at yours right now. And it's just... and I'm looking at the Rams.
It's like Santa's Christmas list, like of all the names. Like...
It's ridiculous. The Rams have 3 guys on their injury report. Jordan Whittington's an interesting one. Didn't practice today. So I would assume if you're not practicing on a Thursday, you're probably not playing most of the time. He's dealing with a back issue. So that would elevate a Konate Mumfield into a pretty large role. But since the last time these two played, Jesse, they have really been reliant on that 13 personnel grouping, using all 4 tight ends, including your guy, Terrence Ferguson, Tyler Higbee, who was not active against the 49ers in that game. So I'm sure he's chomping at the bit, probably hates him as much as anybody on the team. Then you got Colby Parkinson, who has played pretty well when, the limited opportunities he's got in the passing game. And then Davis Allen, who, if he could keep his hands to himself, he would have had a touchdown last week. So, that's pretty much like kind of what I'm looking at there. Xavier Smith, and then maybe they added Tyler Scott to their practice squad. Maybe they call him up. Maybe they call up a True Edwards off the practice squad, or a Brennan Presley. But Jordan Whittington, he's a really good blocker. So they haven't really utilized him in the passing game, which is surprising because he had some huge moments last year. But he's going to be important. So you can obviously just shift to the 12 and 13 personnel grouping, but it does change how they want to do things. And obviously, if Apuka goes down, who he did leave the game against the Saints, he's going to play. But if somebody like him goes down, their depth is being challenged here. So I do want to make note of that. And then real quick, Darius Williams missed last week. No one will say it, but I feel like he missed last week because it was the Saints. Like, we're not going to throw him out there. We're going to get him ready for the Niners. It just is what it is. But he's going to be good to go, it sounds like. And then Puka Nacua dealing with a chest. They're just being, chill on that. They're not having him be a full participant in practice, but they already said he's good to go. But the last time these two squared off, the Rams were without 4 starters, unlike a certain somebody in the 49er community acting like they were the healthiest team in the league. So they were without Tyler Higbee, like I mentioned, Akello Witherspoon. They were without Rob Havenstein and Steve Avila. And now all 4 of those guys are back except for Akello Witherspoon. I would imagine we're going to get his 21-day IR window going in the next few weeks, but he's not going to play in this one. So that's what we're looking at, Jesse.
Well, Akello didn't play last time either, if I'm not
Correct.
mistaken. On the 49ers side, Fred Warner, um, Williams has gone down. So that's 2 starters on defense since the last time we played. However, Kittle's back. He didn't play last time. Jennings is
Correct.
back.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't play last time. And we'll see about Brock Purdy. I got a feeling that Brock's not going to play again. It seems to be trending that way. I don't know. It's at this point, it's almost laughable. My whole thing with the Brock Purdy thing, you tell me what you think from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
I have no issue that he's injured and that he's not playing. Like, if you can't play, you can't play. The strange thing to me is for a guy that during the primetime Sunday night football game against the Falcons, they came out on the telecast and said, hey, if he steps the wrong way, he could easily go back to square one. So they got to be cautious with him. And all that's happened since then is 2 days later, he's practiced for 3 weeks in a row. It's like, well, if you could just step the wrong way and go back to square one, if you're practicing, then you're probably should be ready to play, especially if it's the 3rd week in a row. And if you're hurt, then you probably shouldn't be practicing. So like it's the most confusing thing in the world to me. And other 49er fans are like, I don't understand. Like, it makes perfect sense to me. How? Where have you seen a player practice 3 weeks in a row and not play in any of those games? It makes no sense to me. None.
Oh, I think they are soft benching Brock Purdy.
You think so?
I think they've been telling us this for a while. I mean, are we really not looking at what the Cardinals did with Kyler Murray? I mean, it's almost the exact same thing. He just hasn't gone on IR. But, like, they're sitting there. Someone is sitting there in the front office like, we should not have paid him. Like, that's what's happening right now. I thought it was really interesting. By the way, I want to give a lot of credit to ESPN. I think it's Get Up that you shared. You had mentioned you don't want you don't want Joe Burrow to go to the Rams, but I thought that was really a fascinating. Like, a lot of the time on TV, you see these like takes, and you're like, why are we even? What? No, stop. This was a great segment because basically they're saying the Rams, the Jets, the Browns, they're collecting these first round picks, and everyone just assumes, oh, well, like, they'll just pick guys in the first round, they'll trade up and get quarterbacks, and trading and quarterback in the same sentence makes sense. But hold on, basically he's saying this is an arms race, and we're starting to see potentially Joe Burrow was mentioned in that conversation, Brock Purdy was mentioned, and Kyler Murray. And it really
let's set the tone. Let's set the tone real quick because so this was on Get Up. It was Mike Greenberg, right, who hosts the show. Adam Schefter was on the panel. So they were asked about somebody had asked about Joe Burrow, and it was basically like, we know that Joe Burrow's there's no chance of him being moved. Now, for a year, Jake, I've been telling you on the NFC West, the scariest thing in the world to me is that Cincinnati's going to screw up Joe Burrow's career. He's going to ask to be traded. He'll end up with the Rams, and then we'll have to deal with this guy after Stafford retires. Now, all of a sudden, the Joe Burrow conversation comes up, and Schefter's like, hold on a second. It's not far-fetched that he gets moved. If he ever asks out of Cincinnati, which could be possible, the way that things are going over there, they will have no choice but to move on from him. And I'm looking at the Rams with these draft picks going, you got to be kidding me. But let's bring it full circle, because to talk about the Niners, I was joking on Tuesday about like, hey, Jets, come get Brock Purdy. We got a couple of second-round picks, like send them over. They brought up Brock Purdy. They brought up the fact that Brock Purdy could be on the move if things continue the way that they are. And it was like, whoa, okay, so this isn't just like fodder or made up stuff. Like, this could be a real deal. I still think we're a while away from that happening, but the fact that they even talked about Burrow moving or Brock Purdy moving, Kyler, we already know, it was pretty interesting to me.
That was interesting. I'm going to say, by the way, just because I want it out there, I thought about this. It happened after NFC West Roundtable. So I don't know why. I have this gut feeling. I said on Rob's show, I'm going to say it here. Kyler Murray is going back to MLB. I have this feeling in my gut that he is going to go and play for the Athletics.
No way. You think so? That'd be crazy.
I can't explain it. I have this feeling he just got paid, right? He gets supplanted for Jacoby Brissett. Yeah. And there's been talk about how much does he really love the game of football. You know? I remember hearing
he
the
did
biggest
seem to
issue.
like baseball more. It was
that
just
was the biggest
was like
issue
a more sure
when
thing,
they were like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to draft a guy number 1 overall who said he likes baseball more than football," and that's why like traditional scouts were like, "I'm out on this guy." So I don't know, man. I have this gut feeling that Kyler Murray is going to go to the Athletics.
No.
He is going to leave the NFL and he's going to play baseball. I know that's weird, but I just want to put it out there because the last time I put it out there about an NFC West quarterback, I felt really good about a destination. It was Mac Jones to the 49ers before he even got cut. So that's where I'm at on that one.
Unbelievable. I will see about Kyler Murray, man. We'll see about Kyler. It looks like Giovanni is a new member. Appreciate you, Giovanni. And then Final Flash comes over on your channel, says, Big Money Matt, Hall of Fame MVP season in effect. Hail. Listen, we talked about this last time, only a few weeks into the season, and I said, this is the most efficient I've ever seen Matthew Stafford look. It's only gotten more efficient since then. Like, he was very efficient against the 49ers. And what is he? 21 touchdowns, 2 interceptions or something like that?
Yes.
What's the numbers on it?
It's insane, 21 too.
Dude. That is so insane. Because that's Matthew Stafford, much like Josh Allen. Both of them are just big game slingers of the football. And so it's like, well, you kind of got to live with the picks sometimes. You know, they might lead the league in picks, but they're going to lead the league in touchdowns and yards too. And you got to deal with it. And then we saw Josh Allen over the last couple of years really start to limit those interceptions and keep his touchdowns high. And Matthew Stafford is almost doing like a Brett Favre in Minnesota thing where it's like, oh, I'm going to be up there in touchdowns. And then I'm also just going to cut out all turnovers. It's pretty insane to watch right now.
It's reminding me of, was it the second MVP season of Rodgers? He had like 37 touchdowns and 2 picks or something crazy like that. I don't remember. I think it was probably like 4 picks. 2 seems like way low, but
way low. It was a low number though. It was very, very Lamar Jackson last year, actually.
Yeah. And like, there have been years where like, I think Stafford a lot of the time, like you look at 2021, and I think unfortunately, he had 41 touchdowns and threw for 6,000 yards if you're including, the postseason and everything. I feel like a lot of people held that, he has the same amount of interceptions as Trevor Lawrence against it because he led the league with I almost said 37. That's a lot of interceptions.
That'd be a lot of interceptions.
Yeah. And I feel like that year was one of the years where no matter, ironically, because Tart dropped it, every single time he would throw anything that would even be close to being a turnover worthy play, it would always be picked throughout the year. And I feel like people don't understand. You could go through a season and have everybody drop a pick, and you never see that in the stat sheet. Stafford just had one of those unlucky years until the NFC title game. He had one of those unlucky years where it's like every single time he threw it right at somebody, they would always pick it off. Or like, even if it wasn't right at him, we're talking like, he throws it to Robert Woods and he gets hit in the ankle and then the ball flies up in the air and then some dude just dives into your living room and catches it. It was like that type of unluckiness. This year, Jesse, he's not throwing those at all.
No, not at all.
You know, that's the crazy. I mean, we saw him in person against the Niners and some of those, you already know what play I'm bringing up. The freaking Tutu Atwell, where he does the
dude, that was insane.
Spin
where he rolls out left and then dumps it. That was probably like a 65 air yard throw. That was insane.
It was so stupid. And then what was as stupid was his back juke he did. He put a dude on skates. Like Matthew Stafford, the bad back, put a dude on skates last week where he did a back juke and then threw it. It was, he's just in his bag right now. And I think the thing about this is like, I heard Colin Cowherd bring up a really good point. Tom Brady, when he was 44, was basically had the body of a 34-year-old because he hadn't really faced pressure. This is impressive because Stafford has faced pressure. his whole career. I mean, this is why Russell Wilson is falling off so quickly, because he was sacked like 500 times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Matthew Stafford, the fact he's able to continue, and it looks like he's getting better. I mean, you know, you get wiser when you get older, but better? Jessie, this is the best I've ever seen Stafford look, and I've been following him since 2009. So, you know, when he came into the league, it's been a sight to see.
Especially with the preseason back injury, it is actually really, really surprising. So I remember you said in the preseason, you're like, it's nothing. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. You were pretty confident in that, and it looks pretty damn good right now. I'll tell you that. Well, talk to me. Other than injuries, like, I'll phrase the question differently, because the original question was, how has this team changed since the last time they played? We kind of talked through the injuries, but what's going to be different about this game? Like, why would I look at this game and say, all right, it'll be different than the way it played out last time, 49ers versus Rams, when we were in-house to watch that game? Why will this game be different in your opinion?
Well, I think
without giving a prediction, by the way.
Yeah, I think the big thing is, you beat me to it. The big thing is the red zone. They're a much better red zone offense, although they had some moments when we were there. They had the touchdown to, I think they had two, Kyron and Puka. But they're much better in the red zone. The play calling's better. Stafford, that's another thing. Stafford and Adams are on the same page. They were not in that game. They were forcing every single target to Davante Adams was forced. And if he was doubled, they just did it anyway. And if you look Davante Adams' numbers, like contested catch, it was awful. It was like 39%. Like Davante Adams is known for being the contested catch guy. So yeah, it was bad. And now he's on the same page with Adams. Mind you, they didn't get a ton of opportunity in the offseason because of like what you mentioned, like with the back, holding him out and all of that. So I think that was kind of their plan, is like, I remember Steve Young saying it in 2018. He's like, the Rams actually are onto something here, sitting their starters in preseason. He's like, they might lose this game to the Raiders. They didn't. They came back and won. But they might lose this game to the Raiders. They might lose the next game. But they are going to be fresh. And he's like, that to me is why you do that. And I think that was the big thing with Stafford. Let's just make sure he's fresh. It might take a few weeks to iron things out with Adams, but when it does, it's going to be electric, and we're seeing that. That is the big thing on the offensive side. That and two starters are back on the offensive line. Now, the big thing on the defensive side is that Chris Shula called a game that he never calls against the 49ers. He literally took Mac Jones and was like, he's Josh Allen. We got to play off coverage. We got to, stop the deep ball. We got to play cover 2. This is a cover 3 defense, and they've been mixing in a lot of cover 6 lately, but this is a cover 3 defense, right? And they got away from that. And you had said multiple times when we were in attendance, where's the robber? Like, you're just over the middle, just pitch and catch in the backyard where, nobody is there. And we've started to see teams pick off a Mac Jones, right? And I feel like the big thing with this game is that the 49ers are going to have to make sure, if they're going to win this game, because they are outclassed and everything except for special teams. That's just the reality of it. If they're going to win this game, they have to take care of the football like they did in week 5, and they have to force turnovers, because they did not do that until the very end. And that was a big reason why they won in week 5. If they can't force turnovers, this could be a problem. So those are the two biggest things, Jessie, I would say. The defense, they just don't even play like that. I have no idea where that came from. That game plan should be thrown in the nearest dumpster and lit on fire. And the red zone, and mainly the communication between Stafford and Davante Adams.
I was going to ask you about the defense in particular, because that game plan was trash against the Niners. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, hold on a second. So the 49ers don't have Ayuk. They don't have Pearsall. They don't have Jennings. They don't have Kittle. And you guys played soft zone coverage as if the top was going to get taken off by Kendrick Bourne and Demarcus Robinson. It was absolutely insane to me. And it just kept happening over and over and over. And remember, I changed my prediction hours before the game started. And I said the way that the 49ers are going to win this, they're going to control the clock and they're going to play horizontal. They're not going to go vertical in this game at all. And then the Rams played right into that game plan. The 49ers did exactly that. They played horizontal football. They controlled the clock. They didn't have any dumb turnovers. And ultimately, they ended up winning that game, a game that easily the Rams could have won. You had the Corum drop, huge drop, the fumble, the missed extra point, the missed field goal, the fumble on the goal line. I don't know what the hell that fourth down call was. Back to basically timeout, same play call. And then none of it made any sense. But either way, that's what the 49ers have done all year. They've just hung around and not made mistakes. Miss what?
We saw it a game later. I don't remember what it was. A team got penalized for taking back-to-back timeouts. The Rams should have been penalized. And you know what? They might have won the game if they were.
Now, I don't remember. Did the Rams end up taking back-to-back, or did the 49ers take the first one? I couldn't remember.
The Rams took back-to-back, and the referee.
It should have been a penalty. Yeah, it 100%
would have been a 5-yard penalty. Would have forced McVay to not run the football, and then Stafford would have thrown. And honestly, I don't like thinking about what I've said. I just think it's funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is funny. No, it is funny.
Because then later on, I think it was 2 weeks later, a team got flagged for that.
Yeah, I think. We'll see. I don't know who's going to play, if it's Purdy or Mac. But either way, I think that the 49ers are going to have to do things slightly different offensively, preparing for a different defensive game plan. I think they're going to have to recognize when it's single high, they're going to have to take some shots. Whether they're effective with them or not, as long as they don't turn the ball over, they're going to have to do something to get those corners to think and back them off the receiver so they can do what they ultimately want to do, which is go horizontal again. So, but they're going to have to take some shot. They're not going to be able to stay within a Jimmy Garoppolo tennis court on the field and continue to win that way, because I just don't think the Rams are going to fall for it again. So I think that's what's going to have to be different for the 49ers. And then on the defensive side, because they don't have Warner, because they don't have Bosa, I think the 49ers are going to have to be super aggressive at times. They're going to have to try their best to confuse Stafford, and try to catch him in play action situations where he's turning his back to the defense and then get a fast blitz off the edge and try to force him to make mistakes. As good as Matthew Stafford is, and we've talked about it, he will give you one from time to time. Now, this year, not as much, but I believe against the 49ers, they can force a mistake. Now, whether they take advantage of that, that's completely up to them and how the ball falls on that play. But I think if they time this right on some play action plays, they can get a free blitzer, maybe an Upton Stout, something like that, and force Matthew Stafford to just throw one up, and maybe they can get lucky and force that turnover.
It's interesting because I think if the 49ers are going to win this game, obviously they need to force some turnovers. I think the special teams unit has to come into play. I know Brian Robinson, for whatever reason, has been used as a returner lately.
Yeah.
He had a 40-yard return. This right here. Jordan Watkins has to be a part of your game plan.
Yep.
You have to use him to stretch the field, but you don't use him as a decoy. Like, I think this is the game. Like, Mac Jones has an arm. Use it.
Yep.
I really do think, because you start testing out that secondary. I mean, like, hear me out. They're playing well. The corners are playing well. But Watkins' speed can really start to freak things out, because no one is really going deep down the field against this defense. Obviously, they haven't time to. So if Jordan Watkins gets involved, I think he's a 4th or 5th rounder from Ole Miss. I just think that 4.3 speed, he could be a problem, and you could get him on a quick slant. I mean, we saw what Kendrick Bourne did, and he had 3 seconds. 0.3 of a second quicker or slower 40 time, because he's not the fastest guy. And they got him on those slants, and he was just ripping them to shreds. So, yeah, I think Jordan Watkins is kind of, because, I mean, I would probably have gone with the kid you got from Arizona, whose name is totally escaping me. He's on IR, though.
Oh, you're talking about Cowing?
Yeah.
Cowing has a bro. I don't even know.
It's disappointing.
He's had setback after setback after setback. It's insane. Absolutely insane.
I've never seen anything like that. Like, what the hell's going on with Pearsall? What's going on with Cowing? What's going on with Jennings? Like, Jennings, every time I turn around, they're like, yeah, Jennings has another injury. So he's got 8 injuries, and we can't even fit him on the injury report. It's like,
well, and that's the thing, though, too, is like, Pearsall's about to miss his 6th game. Purdy's missed, like, however many. Neither one of them went on IR. Neither one of them. We just held these roster spots open. Neither one ended up on IR.
That's
and they
bad
both have missed the 4 games.
there.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to make this point yesterday on my show with Grant and Coach was like, as bad as the injuries have been for the 49ers, I think the way they've managed them has been even worse, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I'm not surprised that was a take of yours because that's smart. That's how I look at it, man. And I'm the type of guy, like, I'll tweet that out and people be like, it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, yes, it is. It absolutely is.
It is.
You're telling me, so it's not a big, let's just agree with him for a sec, right? Not a big deal. Pearsall's not on the roster. You didn't replace anybody. Okay, fine. But what about Pearsall, Purdy? Like, it stacks up. And now you have a bunch of guys who you didn't put on injured reserve that you could have, and you could have added players in their, in relief. And now you just are weakening your roster. It's stupid. So, yeah, I personally think that, it's been weird, man. It reminds me of the Yankees, the way they deal with their injuries. They're just like, oh, yeah, he's going to be fine. He's going to be good. 15-day IL. It's like, the hell? Or they're like, yeah, he's not going to pitch for like 3 weeks, but we're not going to put him on the IL. It's like, why not? So, yeah, there's stuff like that. I understand you're not going to get the best communication because there is like a level of gamesmanship and PR and all of that. But, man, it must be so hard to cover the 49ers because you never know what the hell's going on. And at the same time, you never know what the hell's going on, so you can keep making content about it because you're like, what the hell's going on with,
what the hell's going
Brock Purdy? And you could make 3 episodes a week just on Brock Purdy.
Yeah, it's a soap opera over here. I feel like it always is. All right, man. Let's get to some Sleeper. Both of us are sponsored by Sleeper. You can either use promo code LSS or you can use promo code JKB. Either way, if you use our promo code, you'll get a 100% deposit match of up to $100, and you will get a free $20 entry. You don't even have to make a deposit. It's absolutely crazy. So now is the time. Link is pinned to the top of both of our descriptions, so check them out. All right. Well, what you're not going to notice here, or what you are going to notice, that there's no quarterback for the 49ers because they don't know who's going to play. So they just don't have a quarterback on here. But I want each of us to make 2 picks for our team. I'm going to go CMC more on 49.5 receiving yards. Feel like that's basically a lock at this point. What do you see on your side that you want to go with here? Puka, Devontae
Adams is scoring a touchdown. I feel like he might score a touchdown the rest of the year, like every single game.
Okay. I like this.
Yeah, he's. By the way, Jesse, I had him leading the league in receiving touchdowns before the season started. So he is doing that right now for receivers. He's got 8, which is insane, by the way. Let's see. Yeah, I'm kind of out on a lot of. Man, there's a lot of like anytime touchdowns. Like how many touchdowns do people think is going to be in this game?
I don't know. We could do rush yards real quick. Corum 30.5, Kyron Williams 68.5.
I like the 68.5. Or personally,
I'm gonna fade CMC. I'm gonna go more on the receiving, less on the rushing. Ooh, this is a good little entry right here. We do 10 on it. We're gonna 10 times it. So let's do it.
So
hell yeah.
So the 49ers have given up 188 on the ground the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're not a consistent run stopping team at all.
And 330.
And Kyron Cook last game too.
Yeah.
They just didn't. They just
Kyron.
stopped giving him the ball because Stafford was going crazy. But I feel like you guys passed like 20 straight times in that game. It was kind of nuts. But every time Kyron touched the ball, he was electric.
There was like 90
until he fumbled on the 1 yard line.
Yeah. Oh,
Sorry, I
poor
had to bring it
Kyron.
up.
It literally, it's so brutal, man, because he can have the best game ever. And then if he fumbles, people just ignore it entirely. You know, I actually want to point this out because I understand like Jahmyr Gibbs is probably the better player than Kyron Williams. But
Oh yeah. Come on, this is not a
when you look at that game the other day, against the Vikings, that right there is why I would take Kyron Williams over Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm going to have to pay Jahmyr Gibbs like $22 million. He can't pass protect to save his life. Yeah. They
Kyron
lost
Williams
that game.
is, in my opinion, top 3 pass protector in the league. He's a very good pass protector. Very good.
I feel like that's an aspect of the game that just fans don't care about because it doesn't get them fantasy points. But dude, we watched like Jared Goff had I watched that game. Jahmyr Gibbs is being ragdolled into Jared Goff like all game.
Oh yeah.
That's why David Montgomery still exists. They're like, well, how do they keep them both? They have to. Because Jahmyr Gibbs is kind of like your lightning rod if you need a big play, but he's not a complete back, and we saw that, and that's why the Vikings won that game. Big reason. So, yeah.
Kyron Williams, he, in fact, I remember there was like 3 plays mid-play we were watching. We were there at the game, and we both looked at each other mid-play and was like, that was a hell of a blitz pickup by Kyron Williams. That was a hell of a blitz pickup. We just kept talking about it. We talked about it before the game, and then we saw it mid-play, and we're talking about it. It was absolutely crazy. So there we go. We're going Kyron Williams, more on the rushing yards. I feel like it has to happen because of the way that him and Lenore were talking trash back and forth and that fumble. He has to redeem himself. I'm going to go less on the rushing yards, 66.5 for CMC, but I'm going to go more on the receiving yards, 49.5. And then we're going with a Devontae Adams anytime touchdown. You can tail us, you can fade us, but either way, use promo code LSS or JKB to get your deposit match and your free $20 entry.
I'm going to go over on 0.5 stiff arms thrown at Demo.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, probably. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
All right. I have to know what the hell is going on because last game, a big storyline was the kicking woes of the Rams. And you guys essentially you could chalk up your 2 losses that you've had this year, the Eagles and the 49ers, 2 kicking woes. So since then, or this week, you guys brought back your old long snapper from like way back in the day.
2011.
And then you went and got a whole new kicker, but I don't know if he's actually going to be your kicker. What is going on with the kicking game right now?
They're doing pretty much whatever they can to not throw blame on their special teams coordinator, who's probably the reason things are going the way they are.
Okay.
He hasn't been great, but let's just talk about it. Okay. Josh Carty, I think is fine. I think he's a great kicker. I think right now he might have the yips because, well, every time you kick and now it's like the entire, the defense is on the other side. They're ready to block. That can get to you. But I mean, this is a guy we're talking about hit 25, 26 in a row before the Eagles blocked kick. Was nails in the postseason. And, you know, I feel really good about Josh Carty. I feel like he's going to turn it around. What I like is that they went out and got Jake McQuaid. And that tells me that they found something on film where Alex Ward, who they didn't cut, by the way, I agree with it. He's young. Have them learn from Jake McQuaid. Jake McQuaid was signed as a UDFA out of Ohio State in 2011. Okay. St. Louis Rams. Now we have 2 St. Louis Rams on the roster. How about that? But Jake McQuaid, besides the fact that we have like the same beard, Jake McQuaid is a guy who has a lot of experience. He has been in Super Bowls. He actually was the long snapper for the Rams in the 2018 Super Bowl against the Patriots. And then they moved on from him after 2020. And so I feel like them going out and getting Jake McQuaid is obviously familiarity. But it's also wanting a veteran. Like, all right, enough's enough. We went with a youthful group on the special teams unit. Let's go out and get a veteran long snapper. I did see that they had identified that they didn't like whatever, Alex Ward was doing long snap wise. As far as signing the thicker kicker, literally what they're calling him, Harrison Mevis.
He's thick. He's very Janikowski like.
Dude, the body composition is wild. He missed one kick in the UFL for the I don't know, Birmingham Stallions, I think it is. I stopped watching a while ago.
You could have made up a whole whatever name would be like, yep, sounds about right to me. Yeah.
I remember when they had the Birmingham Iron. I don't know what happened to them, but anyway, Birmingham Stallions it is. He missed one kick, and I think it was like a 61-yarder. That's the only thing he missed. But here's the deal. Mevis was in the same draft class as Cardi. He was undrafted. He's never kicked in the NFL. He was never better than Cardi in college. Like, I just think this is just kind of to light a fire under Josh Cardi. That's what I see. But I also think it gives them an opportunity like, okay, let's see other kickers with this unit like throughout the week. They're currently having a competition. They said within either tomorrow or the next day, we'll know who the kicker is. It's going to be Josh Cardi. I would be shocked if they went with Mevis. I just think that's way too soon to just give up on him. That said, though, the long snapper is the biggest, change. And I think they're going to see some results with that. I do. I think another big thing, Alex Ward has there were like screenshots in the Eagles game where Ward just wasn't blocking anybody and everybody was ripping him to shreds. So Jake McQuaid will obviously be doing more. But yeah, that's really it. It's actually the third best kickoff unit in terms of yards allowed, average field position. But it's a special teams unit that's struggling with the kicking operation. It's cost them both games, you could argue, because you lose that game to the 49ers and it's like there was they missed a field goal, an extra point. They did the same thing. They had 2 field goal blocks against the Eagles. They just made one of those. They win the game. So, yeah, Sean McVay, and I give him a lot of credit because after a win, after 2 blowout wins, you have to make the tough decision and be like, hey, we're going to have a modified Victory Monday. Guys are going to come in and lift, but I really want to focus on special teams. This can't go on the way it is. I have belief in Josh Cardi. I'm pleased with the job. I don't know why he said that, but I'm pleased with the job that special teams coordinator Chase Blackburn did, whatever. But he's like, enough is enough. This can't go on much longer. And he's right. It's going to cost him in the playoffs. So, yeah, we'll see, Jessie. I think it's going to have a positive impact. I think just making a change, it just feels like something good will come out of it. But Jake McQuaid is really liked in that building, so it's cool that he's back nonetheless.
Well, I can tell you firsthand that kicking woes are a big deal. And we just spent, 8 minutes or whatever talking about it. I mean, Jake Moody, say less. 49er fans know exactly what this is. The fact that Jake Moody even made it through training camp without a real competition, was the starter week 1 and was basically cut immediately. And now we've got Eddie P, who's out here winning special teams player of the month. It's a massive, massive difference. And, Jake Moody's not necessarily a bad kicker. He just needed a change of scenery and looks like he might have a little career budding with the Bears. Wish him luck, but it just was never going to work with the 49ers. And once kickers get the yips, I don't care how good you are. We've seen it so many times throughout the course of football. Great players, great kickers, some of the best of all time. They start getting the yips and it's over. It is over for them. And if Cardi is truly getting the yips, whether it was his fault or not, some of those definitely were not his fault. But if he's in his own head, it can be a big deal. So, he may have been the better kicker, but mentally, if he's not strong now, then they have to look to replace him. So we'll see if that's what they end up doing or if the long snapper thing fixes things. But ultimately, this is something to watch because the 49ers don't have any kicking issues. We have a very flawless operation at this point. So I know that if it comes down to a field goal kicking match, the 49ers have the advantage. They do. And that's something I feel good about. Yeah, not at all. Not
Last
at all.
year,
so,
which, by the way, that's kind of my biggest annoyance, I think, of this whole thing. I understand fans are going to be fans and all that, but it's like, are we really going to pretend that last year, like Josh Carty didn't hit 29 of 34? You know, like
for sure.
They're acting like he's garbage. And I just hate that. I understand knee-jerk reactions in the moment, but then after the dust settles, if you still have that knee-jerk reaction, why? Right? So, yeah, we'll see. Again, Mevis has literally never kicked a field goal in the NFL. And we're already like, oh, yeah, he should take over. And thicker kicker. It's like, I honestly, if they brought back Greg Zuerlein,
that's another guy there, right? I mean, we're talking about good kickers who got the yips and kind of just fell off, you know. So it happens.
Dustin
it definitely
Hopkins
happens
too. Although he had
who was
injury.
the kicker for the Colts back in the day that had a leg on him? That was there when McAfee was the punter.
Vinatieri?
No.
Oh my God, Jack something.
He was a bigger dude. Anyway, he was a great kicker. He got the yips. We've seen it. We saw it with Tucker. He got the yips and fell apart. So it's like it happens. It happens to the best. It always has. So
that's gonna kill me, man. We need to figure out who that is. Jack something. It's Jack Doe.
Jack O'Lantern. I don't know. No, I forget his name. I'll actually look it up here in a little bit. But
I'm looking it up right now. So you
look it up
roll.
right now. I'll read these. Okay. Joseph Ehrenberg says, "Is it worth watching? I don't want to see a 49-7 blowout. It's not going to be a 49-7.
It's Vanderjagt. Mike Vanderjagt.
Mike Vanderjagt.
Lord.
Silly, slappy Swanson, Samsonite. There it is.
I literally would not have been able to sleep tonight if I didn't remember that. I was like, oh my God. No, he.
Oh my gosh.
He's
all
remembered
right,
for the missed game tying field goal against the Steelers in the playoffs.
Well, and remember he talked trash about Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning was like our kicker. Like they were having a war in the media. He's like our coked out kicker or something. I forget what he said. I was like, what the hell?
And that right there, that's how you knew Peyton was meant for TV.
Yeah, for sure. What's good says, hey, Jake and Jessie, keep up the great content. Appreciate you. He says, for Jessie, what is the future in at the QB for the Niners? Oh my God, dude. If I had a crystal ball, I have no idea. I would say at this point, I would be shocked if Purdy is not the starter next year. But I will say if he continues to miss games or he comes back and gets injured again and Matt continues to play well, they've at least got to have a competition. And then it says for Jake, what's the status for Kello, and are the Seahawks the 49ers' biggest threat in the NFC? You talked about Kello Witherspoon earlier, right? Still on IR, gonna probably open the window here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's my vibe. And then anything can happen at that point. I think you really just want to get the window open. I know they kind of want to go back to that kind of rotation that they had at the beginning of the year, because I mean they have Forbes is playing out of his mind. No one realizes it, by the way. Yeah. But he's got like
Slim Reaper.
A targeted he's got a targeted passer rating in like the top 5 the last 4 games. No one's talking about it. Doesn't
How
fit
did
in
McCreary play for you guys, by the way?
He
I know it's only
didn't
like
really
a game,
play.
But...
he provided a spark on special teams, but I don't think they were really trying to throw him in the fire. I think they really just took the opportunity to be like, you know what? Let's give Forbes this run. And he was sensational. 3 pass breakups, interception. That was the best game of his career.
Yeah, he did play really well. And then actually I want to talk about the Seahawks anyway. So, and we can parlay that into a question here, which is, do we feel like this is a must-win game for each of these teams if they want to win the division? I will say on the 49ers side of the house, it 100% is a must-win game.
Absolutely.
The 49ers, if they lose to the Rams, and it's unfortunate because they're 3-0 already in the division, and going 3-1 to say, oh, it's a must-win. It is, though, because if they lose to the Rams, they're 2 back in the loss column potentially at the end of this week to Seattle and the Rams, and that's going to be really hard to make that up against both those teams. On the Rams side of the house, you can let me know if it's a must win, but we do have to talk about Seattle because they are the other team that is here, and whether the 49ers want to win the division or the Rams, Seattle's going to be there. You guys have 2 games left with Seattle. We have 1. Seattle's on an absolute heater right now, and they added a hell of a player at the trade deadline. So, and Rashid Shaheed.
Like.
So it's
yeah.
You were talking about Rashid Shaheed to the Rams last week, and I go, please God, no. Like, do not let him come to the Rams. Well, I didn't think he'd go to Seattle.
You should have told God no to the NFC West.
The whole NFC West. Like, it is my fault. You're right. I prayed the wrong prayer for sure. Because now he's with Seattle. That doesn't make me feel any better at all. And they're on an absolute heater. But if the Rams don't win this game, do you think that there's a path for them still to win the NFC West?
Yes, I do. Okay. It makes it a lot tougher. Mm-hmm. You probably have to sweep Seattle, which I don't think they're going to do. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they did it, but I don't think they're going to. But I think with the 49ers, I mean, you said it best, a win, and they should be the favorite to win the division if they win this, because they would have that tiebreaker, and that's huge. And they have an easier schedule. It's huge. But if they lose this game, as crazy as it sounds, to your point, being 3-0 in the division and losing this game, it's just like the way Seattle's play. That's not the same Seahawks team you played in week 1. I
agree.
And then now you don't have that tiebreaker against the Rams. You're probably not going to have it against Seattle. It's really hard to sweep teams, especially in your own division.
It is, yeah.
So, yeah, I just find this to be a must-win for the 49ers. I obviously you could say every game is must win in some capacity, but this is an opportunity because let's be honest here, you want that home playoff game. You do. And obviously if you win the division, you're going to get it. I think all 3 of these teams are going to be in the playoffs, by the way. I do. I think the 49ers have an easier road. I look at, for instance, not as easy as the New England Patriots. That might be the easiest schedule of all time. They have a 335 strength of schedule. I didn't even know it could go that low.
Yeah, it's crazy because the 49ers had it, but the Patriots have taken that over because it's just gotten nasty for them. Oh my gosh, terrible.
It is. And then on the flip side, it's we're looking at Indy, and then Indy's like, oh, yeah, that's going to be an easy. What the hell is this Indy football team? So, yeah, it's definitely been interesting this year. I mean, the Panthers game that's on the Rams schedule just got a little interesting. It is in Carolina. They're a way different team in Carolina. But, yeah, this is the Rams' little gauntlet, by the way. They got the 49ers, Seahawks, Tampa, and then you have Carolina in Carolina. I still think that's a scary game. They just play teams tough in Carolina. On the road,
49ers, Seahawks, Tampa. That's and then Carolina, then Arizona. You guys, this is this is a gauntlet right now. You guys are in the middle of for sure. This is where we're going to figure out what the Rams really are. Both of us picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl preseason. We're about to find out if that's a real possibility. I think through this stretch right now, and for those that are on the Seattle bandwagon, which I mean I am to a certain extent. It's tough because I don't fully believe in Sam Darnold. He has to show me something in the playoffs before I'm on the Sam Darnold train.
That's fair. But in the regular season, you believe in Seattle.
Oh, he's phenomenal. Yeah, right now, of course. And I think, it's interesting because before game 1 this year, I said, and I've done this for 3 straight years where I've really believed in Seattle's roster, and it hasn't come together. And so I was like, they're going to have to prove it to me before I fall for it again. But what I did say was Seattle to me had a bit of 2019 49er vibes where they have a stacked roster. And if they can put it together, things could be really interesting. And they could be a team that we're looking at 10, 12 weeks in the season going, holy crap, this team is dominant right now.
Yeah.
And they're ramping up towards that. I want to see them in the Rams. I can't wait to see that game for sure. But Sam Darnold, to me, it's I trust Matthew Stafford. I don't trust Sam Darnold in the playoffs. And so I can't fully jump onto the Seattle Seahawks bandwagon, but roster for roster, I mean, they're as good as it gets in the NFL. That is a very, very good Seahawks roster right now. Very good.
Yeah, and they have a gauntlet too at the end of the year, man. I don't know if you saw that. They got the Colts.
Seattle?
Yeah, they got the Colts, Rams, in Carolina, in 49ers to end the season.
Well, I know that they're playing the 49ers. Shout out, by the way, shout out to Fanatics. Everybody that's in the chat right now, if you want a chance to win a rivalry 49er jersey, I'm giving 2 away in the post-game rant on Sunday. Fanatics reached out to me. They want to hook you guys up. They're going to be sponsoring the show on Sunday. Then they're going to give me 3 more jerseys to give away week 18 against the Seahawks, and they're flying me out to that game. I'm looking so forward to that one. So, Fanatics, man, they're coming through big time. So make sure you guys are here on Sunday for the post-game rant. But, yeah, I mean, I say all that just because we were talking about Seattle week 18. I just got really excited about the whole Fanatics thing. So
no, dude. And we have no idea what day that's going to be. It's TBD.
I know it is. I know it's crazy. It's absolutely, because that one could be flexed for sure.
That's not Christmas, right?
No, it's after. It's supposed to be after the 1st. I think it's the 3rd or something that Sunday falls on. So it's going to be on Sunday most likely. I guess they could flex it to Saturday. I don't know how that works, but for sure they could flex the times. So
that's what the TBD is for.
Yeah, I think it's for the times more than
anything. The 49ers would have to fall the hell off if that's not flexed.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think both these teams are going to be fighting for something. It's going to be a massive game. And you don't get a lot of massive games week 18. So
no. Because, I mean, that is maybe Seattle sitting starters, and it's like, depending on where they're at, but I don't even see that. I got to be honest with you. I don't see that. And then, like, the 49ers after the Rams game, they have the Cardinals, they have the Panthers in San Francisco. Like I said, the Panthers are, what's the meme where it's like the weak, like, wimpy guy, and then like the
the dragons. It's like the 2 dragons, and then the weird, like, squirrely one. Yeah.
On the road, they're awful, and at home, they're like, they'll beat anybody.
World beaters. Yeah.
It's wild.
It's crazy. It's absolutely
the Browns are kind of similar.
So preseason, I picked the 49ers to lose to the Browns because that's game 13 in a row for the 49ers. Jim Schwartz always beats Kyle Shanahan, and the 49ers are on the road. It's one of those games that you look at and it's like, that's a total trap game right before the bye. It just is.
That's brutal. And then
it is brutal.
I mean, you know what's interesting about Shadur Sanders might be starting that game. That's a little bit further in the year.
Yeah, we'll see. SGA Sports Talk became a new member. I appreciate you, SGA. And Harris wants to know how he qualifies for the giveaway. All you got to do is be there on Sunday. I'm going to give you something to enter in the chat, and then we're going to spin a wheel. It'll be random. So you can enter as many times as you want. You just have to be there live on Sunday at the post-game rant. We're giving away 2 jerseys, so I'm looking forward to that. All right, awesome. Man. It is that time of the show, brother. Score prediction time. I'm gonna give you mine first. All right.
Sounds good.
So before the season started, I picked the Rams to sweep the 49ers. I picked the 49ers to sweep Seattle. And then I think I had a splitting with Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. Before the last game, I think I had the Rams winning 27-20. And then a few hours before kickoff, we did one last show for the roundtable. And I switched my pick to the 49ers winning 28-27. And they ended up winning that game. I reserve the right to change my mind. I will say that. But right now, I'm going to pick the Rams to win this game. I think it's going to be super, super close. I'm going to go 24-23 Rams. I have a question for you as you're making your prediction. Does your prediction change if Brock Purdy plays versus Mac Jones? Who would you rather face as a Rams fan, Brock Purdy or Mac Jones, and why?
Brock Purdy without question.
Why?
Because his decision-making is horrendous this year. It's like everything that made him like a Kyle Shanahan type of guy, he's like playing outside of the confines of his system, and it's not good. I mean, think about all those passes that weren't picked off in the few games that he played. I've never seen a dude,
had a few,
like he was throwing in a pentuple coverage. I'm like, ooh. Like, what are we doing? You saw that play. I know you saw that. You're like,
I know exactly what play you're talking about against Seattle. It was insane, dude.
Like, good God. So, yeah, if Purdy plays this game, this is going to be a blowout. They're going to absolutely dominate him. I really, because this would be his first game back. And the Rams just aren't getting beat by mobile quarterbacks anymore. There's like not any, there's no flair there. You know what I mean? In the past, they used to give him issues and whatnot. Kyle Shanahan mentioned the Rams having given up a 3rd and 12 or beyond conversion. His defense has been so good. I think Mac Jones gives them the best chance because he can essentially take care of the football, which is the biggest thing. So yes, to answer your question, I think Brock Purdy gives them the least chance to win this game, the 49ers. I really believe.
I want to address something real quick because B-Dubs brings up a point. He says, hey, he's only played 2 games. What are you talking about? But what Jake's talking about isn't just the 2 games this year. This is the final 3 games of last year. He did the same thing. So this is a 5-game stretch for Brock that he's been very turnover prone. The last time that Brock played a clean, solid, like true solid football game was against the Bears, who had just fired their coach. They were a dumpster fire. And that was December 4th of last year. We're coming up on a year since Brock has played a good game of football, like a clean, solid, turnover-free game of football. And this to be your first game back, I'm not necessarily agreeing with Jake as far as hey, I think, if Mac plays, they have a better chance. I don't know. But what Jake is saying is very, very true. It's not just 2 games this year. This is the final 3 games of last year too. We're on a 5-game bender here of Brock Purdy not looking good. That's just the reality.
No, I'm glad you said that. I mean, I go back to the game last year in San Francisco, 12-6, ugly. Stafford's playing with cracked ribs and really just, you could tell. I mean, the far hash throw he wasn't able to make. He couldn't step into his throws, whatever. Brock Purdy was horrendous in that game. He was awful.
They both weren't good. And what's crazy is it
was bad.
Actually, both games were actually very, very similar. Brock played much better in the first game last year in LA, but both games eventually came down to who made the biggest plays at the end of the game, and Matthew Stafford took over both games when he needed it most. Both those times.
I want Brock to play because I'm tired of hearing Mac Jones has been exactly what the 49ers needed to get through this. Although he's been not as great taking care of the football as of late. I'm aware of that, but he's played good football. He's kept them on that path. Everyone who's saying Brock Purdy is so much better than Mac Jones and he's your franchise quarterback, I really want them to see what he is when he plays a dominant defense that the Rams have right now. This is the best I've ever seen the Rams defense look. They are right now number 1 in DVOA for their defense. Okay, they actually passed the Texans, right? They are giving up 16 points a game. They have been so dominant. And, I just don't think people realize how bad that game plan was in week 5. This is a much different team now. This is a much different defense.
I want to see it too because Pearsall's probably not going to play. No Ayuk. I want to see it because that was the big thing, right? Last year when Brock Purdy struggled, I talk about those final 3 games. It's he doesn't have anybody. It's Mac Jones hasn't had anybody either. In fact,
imagine Mac Jones.
Mac Jones has had less
and Pearsall,
less of anybody, less than what Brock had last year. And it's okay. So I want to see it. I want to see him come out, man. If you're the franchise guy and he's so much better than Mac, then he should come out and put this team on his back and win the freaking game.
Yeah. No, I would like to see Purdy play. I don't think he's going to, but I'd love to see Purdy play. I like Mac Jones. I know I'm not supposed to like 49er quarterbacks. I liked Brock Purdy. You remember that. I defended him.
You were a big Brock guy, yeah.
But I'm one of those guys, I'm quick to attach when quick to detach. When I realize something is going south, I'm off. I'm out. It's over. I saw the writing on the wall with Brock Purdy. He is not going to work out. He will not be your franchise quarterback. This is a soft benching.
Brandon's in here saying he's representative of the Seahawks, says the Niners shouldn't have paid Brock. Mac is the best quarterback.
Love you, Brandon.
That's funny. What's up, Brandon?
Yeah. So that's where I'm at on that. I don't know where you are, but me personally, like, I want Brock to play because everybody is still acting like he's the 31 touchdown Brock and doesn't turn the ball over Brock. Would turn it over 3 to 4 times against this defense.
All right. What's your score prediction? You think Mac's going to play, so give me your score.
19.
31-19. Okay. That's a big spread, man. The McVay-Shanahan game.
I don't get too involved with that, and here's why.
Hold on, you're going to be at the game, right?
Yes, I am.
See, if I switch my pick Sunday, it's because you're at the game. Just so you know. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So I came ready for that. I have actual proof. Okay. So look at this.
The team has won with you in the stadium. Is that what you're saying?
It's probably not gonna do it.
It's very blurry, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like whatever you're about to say, you're making up.
No, damn it. So 7-3. The Rams are 8-4 technically if we're counting St. Louis, but we're not in this essence.
Okay. LA,
so the Rams have won every single time I've gone to a road game, except for one, and that was the St. Louis Rams against.
Okay.
Matt Castle and the Patriots.
Okay, I thought you were going to say the 49ers. Okay.
No, so the Rams, anytime I've gone to see the Rams on the road, they've won. Now, caveat, important thing here, okay? Here are the road games. The Jets in 2016, the Giants in 2017, the Giants in 2021, the Giants in 2023, and the Jets in 2024. So... yeah, those are the road games. But the Rams are winning this one, man. It's hard to sweep, a division rival. And I just feel like that game, Jesse, from what I was told, those guys were pissed. Like, they were mad after the Eagles game, but it was more so, like, inspired. Like, I don't know how, because I was so mad.
You were way more mad about the Eagles game than the 49er game, I remember.
Because they didn't deserve it. I told you. I said the Niners played well enough to win. The Eagles played like dog shit for 3 quarters. And then, just everything under the sun went right for them. But for me, this team has absolutely gone ballistic since that game. The defense has gone ballistic. Okay? Since that game, this defense has been just absolutely dominant. And that's my thing. People will say, well, look who they played against. I don't care who they played against. They gave up 3 points, 7 points, 10 points. That's what they've done. So that's why I tend to lean towards the 19. I think it's right around, what are the 49ers averaging, by the way, per game? Right around.
I believe it was like 22 going into last game, like 22 and change.
That's, because it's like what, a 25, 22. 26, like implied score. Yeah, so I gave the Rams essentially 6 because of the way they've been, their offense has been explosive. They've scored over 30 back-to-back games. I told you they don't blow teams out, and now they've blown out 2 teams. And then when it comes to the 49ers, I just think you take the 22, you take away 3 points, that's the Rams defense. That's like the difference. So yeah, I just think in this one...
21.6.
Okay. Yeah, I just think in this one, Christian McCaffrey, he's not going to be able to run rampant against the Rams like he did against the Giants. Giants defense is terrible against the run.
Even then, he only averaged 3.8 yards per carry. Like, let's,
Yeah, exactly. But you get my point. Like, really, the Rams are the best run defense in the league currently. Nobody can do anything against them, including Saquon Barkley. And then you have that passing attack, the 49ers struggled to stop last time. That's only gotten better. They've been better in the red zone. And maybe they fix their special teams. We will see. But the one thing I will give you...
I hope this comes down to a kick by the Rams. I would love nothing more. Oh, my gosh.
I will have heart palpitations.
Bullets.
Oh, my God. I'd pass away. No, I think the one thing that we can, like, if you're a believer in like the whole regression and all of that, Stafford is due for an interception.
He is
16 touchdowns, no interceptions in 5 games.
Oh yeah, he's due.
He's due. So
It's definitely due.
he's going to throw a pick in one of these games, right? I hope it's not the 49ers. I would prefer it was none of them, but like he's not going to finish the season with 2 interceptions, guys. I'm sorry.
No, definitely not. No,
like
definitely not.
If he does and he doesn't win the MVP, then I feel so right about everything, about the hating. I don't know if you saw Bill Barnwell had Patrick Mahomes as his MVP for the mid-season. I'm like, how is that?
I mean, listen, I'm not a Sam Darnold guy, but Sam's ahead of Patrick right now. I think
Those are the
Stafford's ahead of Patrick right now. I think
It's
I'd go
Stafford and
Jonathan
Sam for me.
Taylor ahead of
Yeah.
Stafford right now. I would go Josh Allen. I mean, not Stafford, Mahomes right now. I would go Josh Allen ahead of Mahomes right now. Like, there's a few guys I would have over. I haven't even talked about Drake May. Drake May deserves to be in the conversation. Like, no, Patrick Mahomes is like 7, 8, and 9 on my list.
I just don't
MVP.
understand where
I don't get
Patrick Mahomes comes from. Like, I mean,
I don't either.
he should have lost that the moment he lost to Josh Allen as bad as he did. That's just, he's not an MVP this year. He was playing really well, sure. But are they trying to do the whole, well, the receivers aren't that good thing? Because
his weapons right now are very good. I don't care what
Rasheed
Rice. He's got Rasheed Rice. You know, he's Kelsey, whatever. But you know, Kelsey, Rasheed Rice, Hollywood Brown. Who's the other speedster that they have there?
Kelsey has 540 yards. Like, he's
saying.
on pace for 1,000 this year. I thought this dude was gone. Like, I thought he was washed. I hate saying washed. I feel like people just say it, whatever. I thought he was washed, Jesse.
Yeah.
He could have 1,000 yards this year.
They've got a really good, I don't care. They've got a very solid receiving core. So they can't run the ball worth a lick. We can talk about that. But receiver wise, he's got weapons. He definitely has weapons. So Freddie's a new member over on your channel. We appreciate it. Chris says, Rams fan here, will be there at Levi Stadium, then flying back to SoFi for the Seahawks game. Huge. 2 losses and the Rams are out, and 2 wins. We take the West. Yeah, if you guys win both those games, you're in the driver's seat for the West for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And have fun at both those games, brother. Stefan says, Jake, this is the running joke, you should check out the upgrades of the Wi-Fi, fireworks, and new TV at Levi Stadium. It's exciting stuff. They cranked up the ticket prices on fans, and everybody's pissed because they upgraded things for the Super Bowl, but they didn't spend any money on getting players at the trade deadline, so people are pissed off. Lil Bebe says, Niners win. LA style is too similar to San Francisco. Easy win. Well, I don't know about easy, but, you know, I can see us winning. I can see us winning.
You guys didn't see 13 personnel last time. So this is a new offense. True. This is a new offense. And with no Whittington, you're going to see, I bet you they run 13 personnel 60+% of the time.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah. They did it, by the way, against the Saints. So how do you
a ton of 13 personnel.
How do you defend that when you had like the 3 tight ends we're talking about, Tyler Higbee, Davis Allen, Terrence Ferguson? You want to throw in Parkinson there here. Like, that's a really good, because the way I see it is the Rams don't have a Travis Kelce. They don't have a George Kittle, but they got 4 guys.
Hold on. Puka went down in that game too. Did that play a big factor, or were they doing it prior?
They were doing it prior. That's what I love, because they did it when they lost Puka for the Jaguars game. And we were like, what the hell is this? And now they might have found something, Jesse. They might have found something. Sure. And I'll tell you right now, Terrence Ferguson, you want to talk about Deux. 2 catches, 52 yards last week. He catches everything. His first catch was against the 49ers. It was a 3rd and 4.
Great catch. Back shoulder.
Catch, back shoulder. He, honestly, there it is. If Whittington is out, Terrence Ferguson is going to eat in this game. That's going to be, he catches everything, man. He does. You already know how good he is. I'm ready for it.
Listen, that doesn't mean that he's the MVP, though. We're talking about MVP. And I take him over everybody I just named two, except for Josh Allen. Josh Allen's my guy. So, but yes, it's MVP is not the same as who's the best player in the world. And right now, quite frankly, is Patrick Mahomes the best player still in the world? I don't think he is. I mean,
Josh
to me,
Allen
he's probably like
him.
I think Josh Allen has. I think
but
you can make an argument for Lamar.
Jesse, November 6th, I don't think there's a better player than Matthew Stafford right now.
Matthew Stafford's balling out of his mind.
It's
he's always been top 5 for me. He was always number 5. At this point, I'm taking him above Burrow though. Like Burrow's just been too injured. It's just too much. And not only that, but you're seeing Flacco do some crazy things with that offense. It's hard to unsee those things. So,
I feel bad for Burrow, man. He keeps getting hurt behind this awful offensive line, and now people are questioning how. Not you, but people are. That is a dialogue that's happening.
But to me, there was a big 4. There's no longer a big 4. There it just isn't. There's a big 3, and then I would probably have Stafford 4. I'd probably have Herbert 5 and then Burrow 6. Right now in this moment, I would. That's probably my quarterback ranking. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I love Dak. I don't know. I really love
Dak's
Dak.
good, but God, you can't unsee the choke jobs this guy does in the playoffs. It is awful, bro.
I know,
awful,
but you know what?
Awful.
I love Tony Romo, and I'll tell you right now, if he played for the Patriots, he played for the Colts, back with Peyton, he played for the Packers, Rodgers. Like, Tony Romo wins the Super Bowl. Dallas, dude, it would piss me off so much. There was all these Dallas fans in the upstate New York area, and they'd be like, Tony Romo sucks. It's like, I just watched him throw 6 touchdowns, and your defense gave up 7, and you're telling me he sucks? Your defense sucks. And so once again, time is a circle, and now here we are. Tony Romo didn't have a defense. Now Dak Prescott doesn't have a defense. So would you look at them apples?
Would you look at that? Alex says, can my heart and wallet take another loss to the 49ers this year? Probably not. But missing out on Jake coming to my city, not a chance, brother.
Hey,
not a chance.
Alex, let's go.
I love it.
I'm excited to see Alex.
There we go. Alex is great, man. Good guy. Very good guy. All right, y'all. Listen, have a blessed weekend. This is going to be a great game, Jake. Stay safe out there. There's some crazy 49er fans. It's not bad. You'll probably be fine, but there's always a few.
Philly.
So just it's not Philly, but we got a few. We got a few.
That's fair.
So just take care of yourself. But either way, thank you to everybody in the chat, whether you're on Jake's side, the Last Second Sports side of the house. Either way, we appreciate you showing support, showing love. Jake, thank you for giving me an hour and 15 minutes of your time. Love doing this with you weekly. And cannot wait to recap the game on Tuesday on the NFC West Roundtable. Everybody in the chat, have a great weekend. Talk soon. Much love. Peace.